In 2009, a guy in Phoenix bought a rundown 3-bedroom house for $95,000. His friends told him he was crazy. The housing market had literally just collapsed. Everybody was running away from real estate. He ran toward it. He didn't flip it, didn't renovate it, didn't do anything exciting. He just rented it out. 15 years later, that house is worth over $400,000, and he never sold it once. Now here's the question that matters. How did a guy who did nothing exciting end up with $300,000 in profit on one house? That's what this video's about. Not flipping, not luck. The actual mechanics of how real estate money works. The 4 streams that run at the same time, whether you're watching or not. Stick around, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Let's get into it. Quick ask before we dive in. If this kind of how money actually works breakdown is your thing, subscribe. Okay, for streams. Let's go. Reframe, why flip it, is the rookie trap. Everybody's got the same mental model of real estate money. Buy cheap, fix it up, sell high, pocket the difference. HGTV built an entire industry off this idea. Here's the problem. That's not wealth. That's a job wearing a hard hat. You gotta find the deal, front the renovation cash, manage contractors who ghost you for 2 weeks, deal with permit offices, and pray the market doesn't shift while you're mid-project. And the second the house sells, the income's gone. You're back to zero, hunting for the next deal. That's called trading time for money. Same trap as clocking into a 9 to 5, just with more drywall dust and more arguing with your contractor about tile. The people who actually build generational wealth in real estate almost never talk about flips. They talk about streams. 4 of them, running simultaneously, whether they're actively working or not. Let's break every single one down. Stream number 1, cash flow, getting paid on autopilot. Stream 1 is the one everybody's heard of, rental income. Buy a property, rent it out, tenant pays you monthly, full stop. But here's where most beginners get the math wrong. They think cash flow is just rent minus mortgage. Wrong. Real cash flow is rent comes in, then you subtract mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance costs, and a vacancy buffer for the months the unit sits empty. Whatever survives all of that, that's your real cash flow. Skip that vacancy buffer and you're in for a rude awakening the first month your tenant bounces and the mortgage is still due like clockwork. Now here's the part that should honestly blow your mind. Your tenant isn't just paying your bills. Every single month, a chunk of that rent check goes straight to paying down your loan balance. You're building equity on autopilot, funded by a total stranger who just needed somewhere to live. You're getting richer in your sleep because somebody else needed a roof over their head. Sit with that for a second. Stream number 2, appreciation, the slow cook money. Remember that Phoenix guy from the intro? This is his stream. Appreciation, the property itself getting more valuable over time. Everybody thinks appreciation means get lucky, time the market perfectly. Nah, real appreciation is boring on purpose. It's time, plus location, plus inflation, quietly doing their job in the background while you live your life. This happens in almost every major U.S. city. Same story on repeat. Somebody buys in a neighborhood everybody calls sketchy or not there yet. 15, 20 years later, new train line rolls in, a Whole Foods shows up, breweries move in, and that same house triples, sometimes quadruples in value. The owner didn't renovate, didn't hustle, didn't do a single flip. They just didn't sell. That's the whole game. Appreciation rewards patience. It's the total opposite energy of flipping. Flipping screams, make it happen now. Appreciation just says, chill, and let time cook. Stream number 3, leverage, the cheat code banks hand you for free. Alright, this is the one that actually separates people who dabble from people who get rich. Leverage. And it might be the biggest cheat code in the entire financial system. Real estate is basically the only asset where a bank will hand you 80% of the money to go buy something that grows in value. Try walking into Chase and saying, "Give me $80,000 so I can buy Nvidia stock." Security's escorting you out. But say, "Give me $320,000 so I can buy this $400,000 rental." And they'll hand you the keys, no cap, as long as your credit's decent and the numbers work. Here's where it gets nuts. Say that $400,000 property appreciates just 5% in a year. Normal brain says, cool, 5% return. But you only put down $80,000 of your own cash. So that 5% gain on the full $400,000, that's $20,000, landed on an $80,000 investment. Run the math. That's not 5%. That's a 25% return on your actual money. That's leverage. That's the real reason real estate has built more millionaires in this country than almost any other asset class. And it works whether you started with a trust fund or a tax refund. Stream number 4. The tax code, built in your favor. Last stream. And it's the one that separates people who read one Instagram infographic from people who actually build wealth. Taxes. The government, weirdly, wants you to own rental property. Stick with me. Real estate investors get to claim something called depreciation. The IRS lets you write off your building as losing value every year on paper, even while it's gaining value in the real world. That paper loss offsets your rental income, meaning a lot of investors are collecting real, actual cash every single month while showing barely any taxable profit. Then there's the move called a 1031 exchange. Sell one property, roll all the profit into a bigger one, and you don't pay capital gains tax right then. You just keep trading up, tax deferred, stacking a bigger portfolio, and settle up with the IRS way down the road, if at all, depending how it eventually gets passed down. This is why rich people never panic about real estate profit on paper. They're not optimizing to look impressive to the IRS. They're optimizing for cash in the account and a tax bill that stays small. Totally different game than the one most of us were ever taught. Putting it all together. So zoom out with me. The flipper gets one paycheck. Sell the house. Profit's gone. Back to square one. Gotta grind for the next deal. The investor who buys and holds is running all 4 streams at once, right now, without lifting a finger today. Cash flows hitting the account monthly. Appreciation's building quietly in the background. Leverage is multiplying the real return way past what the raw numbers show. And the tax code is straight up subsidizing the whole operation. That's not buy low, sell high. That's building a money machine that keeps running while you're at your actual job, while you're asleep, while you're on vacation, not thinking about it at all. That's the difference between a hustle and an asset. And it's the difference between the flipper and the guy from Phoenix. The value bomb, bringing it back to you. Now I already know what you're thinking. Cool story, but I don't have $80,000 for a down payment. Fair. Most people don't when they're starting out. But here's the mindset shift, and it matters way more than the dollar amount. Stop asking, how do I get a big pile of cash? Start asking, how do I get access to an asset that works all 4 of these ways for me? Maybe that's house hacking. Buy a small multifamily. Live in one unit. Rent out the rest. Let tenants cover your mortgage. Maybe that's partnering with someone who's got capital while you bring the work. Maybe you start with a REIT. Get a taste of real estate returns with way less money and 2 a.m. The toilet's broken phone calls while you save up. The framework doesn't change whether you're working with $2,000 or $2 million. Cash flow, appreciation, leverage, tax benefits. Learn to spot those 4 streams in any deal, and you will never look at a for sale sign the same way again. So next time somebody tells you real estate is just buy low, sell high, you already know better. It's not one paycheck. It's 4 streams running at once, quietly, whether you're watching or not. And that's exactly why it's built more millionaires than almost anything else in this country. If this changed how you see real estate, Smash that subscribe. I break down how money actually works every single week. No fluff. Drop a comment. Which of these 4 streams did you not know about before today? I read every single one. Catch you in the next video.